Okay, so the world of search is changing fast. AI is basically the new gatekeeper, and all those old rules we learned about visibility, they just don't apply anymore. The real question is, how do you win in this new era? Well, LinkedIn, a platform that's pretty much dominating AI search results, seems to have cracked the code. So we're going to walk you through their playbook.
This is the question that's keeping marketers and content creators up at night. I mean, you spend all this time and energy creating amazing content, but what happens if people just get their answers directly from an AI chat? Does your website even matter anymore? Are those clicks you've always relied on just vanishing? That's the exact same thing LinkedIn wanted to figure out. And since they get cited in AI search results constantly, they've got a really unique view of the situation. So they ran a bunch of internal tests to see what actually works for visibility, and it gives us this rare peek inside a strategy that's clearly succeeding.
Okay, so let's get to the heart of the new problem. The old way was simple, right? You search, you click, you go to a website. But now, when an AI just gives you the answer directly, that whole chain gets broken. Your content might be the source of that perfect answer, but the user, they never even land on your page. And that means our old traffic metrics are starting to become, well, pretty useless.
So how do we deal with this? LinkedIn's research gives us a really clear blueprint, and it's built on 3 main pillars. Now, these aren't just little tweaks. We're talking about a whole new way of thinking about getting your content seen. Let's break them down one by one.
So pillar number 1 is all about structure. For years, we've been obsessed with user experience, making our pages beautiful and easy for people to read. But now we have to start thinking about a brand new audience, the AI models themselves. It's about making your content incredibly easy for a machine to understand, to process, and to serve up.
And that leads us to this really important concept LinkedIn is calling AI readability. It's a simple idea, but it's super powerful. The more structured and logical your content is, the easier it is for a large language model to just digest it and, this is the crucial part, to pull it out and present it as a trustworthy answer.
Now, this doesn't mean you just throw user experience out the window. Not at all. It's about adding a whole new layer to your strategy. You're still writing for humans, but you're now structuring for machines. And that right there is the fundamental shift in thinking we all need to make.
So how do you actually do it? Well, LinkedIn found that 3 things made a huge impact. First, a proper heading hierarchy. Using your H1s, H2s, and H3s correctly to basically create a clear outline for the AI. Second, making sure your information flows in a logical, intuitive way. And third, clean, semantic HTML. Think of it like this. You're putting little labels on your content for the AI, telling it, hey, this is a headline, or this is a quote. This over here is a list. And this really matters because LLMs often just pull fragments of content, not whole pages. That structure is what helps them grab the right fragments.
All right, let's move on to pillar 2, which builds right on top of the first. See, it's not enough for your content to be easy to read, it also has to be credible. AI models are literally being trained to prioritize information from sources they can trust, so your content needs to be actively signaling that authority.
LinkedIn's testing gave us a pretty simple credibility checklist. They found that content from a named author with clear expertise just performed better than some anonymous post. So, is it obvious who wrote it? Can the AI actually see their credentials? Clear timestamps were also a huge deal for signaling that the information is fresh and relevant. And finally, a conversational, insight-driven style was a clear winner over that dry, generic text. The bottom line is, proving you're a real expert matters more now than ever before.
Okay, this brings us to the 3rd pillar. And honestly, it might be the most challenging one for a lot of us. If we're not getting as many clicks, how on earth do we measure if we're even successful? We need a completely new set of rules for measurement that looks way beyond simple website traffic.
I mean, here's the reality of it. If your brilliant article answers someone's question right there inside an AI overview, you've totally achieved your goal. You were helpful, you were visible, but when you look at your website analytics, it's going to show absolutely nothing. So if you're only relying on traffic, you are missing a massive piece of the puzzle. So what does success look like in this new world? Well, LinkedIn is shifting its focus from the old KPIs to brand new ones. Instead of just tracking traffic and clicks, they're now measuring something called citation share, which is basically the percentage of times they get credited as the source in an AI answer. And instead of time on page, they're tracking LLM mentions. These new KPIs are all about measuring your visibility and influence directly inside the AI platforms.
So when you put all 3 of these pillars together, that's AI readability, credibility signals, and new measurement, it becomes really clear that this is so much more than just a list of tactics. This is a complete and total mindset shift. The goal isn't just to get a click anymore, it's to be considered.
And this quote from the team at LinkedIn just says it all perfectly. It's a 4-step journey now. First, you get seen in the AI answer. Then, you get mentioned as the source. Because of that mention, you get considered by the user. And then ultimately, you get chosen when they're finally ready to take that next step.
And that really just leaves us with one final, crucial question to think about for our own strategies. As we all move forward into this new age of search, are you still chasing the old goal of getting clicks, or are you ready to start optimizing for consideration?